Today is a very, very special day here on the African Miranda Show because did you guys know that I was having a baby? A little baby. Today is Step Up, Step Out, and Shine Day. My book is officially here. You can go to stores and Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, and it is here. You can get it in your hands. You can turn the pages, and it is honestly the culmination of a lifelong dream. You guys know that it's been on pre-sale, and I've been really talking about my journey, but today is all about stepping up, stepping out, and shining. I was really inspired to, write this book because I wanted to, one, say thank you to everyone that has been so supportive of me, and it's my way of giving back. I get a lot of questions about, people saying, well, how did you get to do this? Or I've been trying these things and I want to get different results. And honestly, when I looked back on my life, I realized that there were really specific things that I was doing that led me on this path of, and I don't know that I'm going to use the word success, but I will say accomplishments, because there are a lot of goals that I set for myself as a young girl. And when I sit back and I take stock of them, they've happened. And they've happened because I've had very specific goals and actions that I've taken. And that's what we're going to talk about in this book. Now, in order to have this conversation, here on the show, it's all about great people and great insight. I had to bring a woman on that has been very special to me. And one reason she actually is going to find out here in the show, because she was very inspirational and played a very integral part in part of the reason why I even thought about writing this book and really starting on a new journey in my life. So I would like to introduce to you the speaker, the author, the dynamic woman who lives her life absolutely on purpose, the one and only Jovian Zayne. Welcome to the African Miranda Show.
Thank you for having me. It is a privilege to be here,
no,
especially on this
on this day. On this day.
What?
No, I couldn't have this conversation, without you being here, because little do you know.
Yeah, so tell me. When you said that, I was like, wait,
you're
what?
Like, what? See, I love having my little surprises with my guests.
I had no idea.
Because, everyone that I have on the show is special to me in some way. Some that they know, but a lot of times it's something that I like to share with them. So Jovian is one of my sorority sisters, but we met when I first moved back to New York. It was in 2014.
Yep.
And I was coming off of Life on my show on Bravo, and honestly, I was at a place in my life where I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. I knew that I had more to say, more to give, more to show, and I didn't want to be limited by, just being a girl in a reality show.
Right.
And we met at a luncheon. It was this luncheon called Leap Luncheon, and it was all about bringing like dynamic women together.
Oh my God.
And it was at this like really cute place in Brooklyn, and
outside.
Yes, outside. We were sweating
Sophia
down.
Put it on.
Yes, Sophia put it over.
Gosh.
So Sophia, this is you were part of this as well. But what was great about that was that you don't know this, but first of all, I felt so intimidated in that room because I didn't really feel like I was supposed to be there.
I can understand.
And because I felt like these women are so accomplished and they were so far ahead of where, I wanted to go, but I was like, well, how do I even get there?
Yeah.
And you were so kind to me. And one of the things I appreciate is that you talked a lot about purpose. And what was interesting for me is that in 2014, that was the first time I probably even heard someone really talk about that.
Yeah.
And it really started me on a journey of really researching, like, what does it mean to, like, find your purpose? What is my purpose?
Right.
And it just honestly started the path that led me to Periscope, Step Up, Step Out, and Shine, and ultimately to this moment. So you don't even know this, but you were really a big part of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. I think so often we can be very intentional about how we're living, but we don't always know if our intent is matching the impact we want to have.
Absolutely.
It's always a goal, but you don't know. So that is so encouraging.
It is.
Goodness.
Now, you are known for, guys, if you've ever seen I posted some on my feeds a lot, but you see me posting about #OnPurpose.
Yeah.
That is your movement that has grown, I think, over the years. Like, people all over the world are posting about On Purpose. So talk a little bit about On Purpose, because I think so many people don't even get what purpose means, in their life.
Get comfortable.
Yes, get comfortable, because Jovian is the purpose expert.
Yeah, so I think about purpose from the lens of intent and impact.
Okay.
Like intent and impact.
Okay.
So for y'all thinking about it, visualize intent and impact and how they come together, how they converge. Right. So I think about purpose from the standpoint of what is it that you've been uniquely called to do?
Yes.
Right. And giving yourself the opportunity to quiet your spirit enough to hear the voice that has already told you in every scenario how you are supposed to show up.
Yeah.
Right. So if I am supposed to show up as the one who is encouraging other people to be their best self, which I truly feel like is my purpose.
And it is.
It informs the way I enter every room.
Yeah.
Like, I know then I need to introduce myself to people, look people in the eye, encourage them by just acknowledging their presence.
And you do that well. Like,
Yeah.
you make that,
Thank
like,
you.
you make real connections. Like,
Thank
people
you.
feel seen with you.
Thank
and I
you.
think that's what's so important.
Yeah, that's an important part of what we all need as humans. Like, our deepest need is to feel seen, heard, and valued.
Absolutely.
Like, we want that. So when I recognized that the call over my life was to encourage people to be their best, it shifted the way that I realized I had to show up in every scenario, whether it was getting on a stage and the words that I would deliver, or in my career, how I found out that I was supposed to be truly not necessarily fundraising, but doing coaching work, doing speaking, like managing teams to be more effective. It transitioned me. So I tell people when they're considering purpose to think about it from, all right, what are the breadcrumb moments, which is something I would love to introduce for folks, because it's really helpful when people are trying to figure out, well, how do I begin to think about my purpose?
Because it can seem so broad.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really holds people back from even feeling like they can even start. And that's that's why I tell people, step up. That's the first
Small
piece.
thing.
Everything is not a grand, big moment. It's little, like I said, I love that, breadcrumbs.
It's little breadcrumbs. And I would even, so Africa, you named some breadcrumbs for us, right? Like, the 2014 moment was a moment that you and I had where you look back on it now and it helped you to learn more about who you needed to be, right? It was a spark for you. We each have breadcrumbs. Like, these are key moments in our lives who have, or that have impacted the way that we now understand ourselves. They're like, the breadcrumbs lead us back home.
I love it. Come on.
They lead us back home. They lead you back home. So I encourage people to think about, like, your life map. Like, what are those key moments that have helped me to better understand myself? What's the thread?
Yeah. Because there's always a thread.
There's always a thread.
There's always one.
There's always a thread. But we have to slow down enough to be able to see what the thread is.
I think, yeah. Because everybody's like racing to the next thing. And that was even something for me, even working on the book last year. I shared this off camera, but I will share with you guys that last year was a very hard year for me.
Yeah.
A project that I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I left New York because I thought I was going to be doing this year-long project. And then it didn't happen. And I was still very visible on social. I remember like crying because like I was in Vanity Fair magazine last April.
Stunning.
And at the time, thank you, but I was devastated because I had financially like turned my life upside down for a project that didn't happen. And the only thing that kept me going was I was working on this book, because that was something that was already started. So I was like, okay, I have to commit to these steps, because I'm telling everybody that if you step up and step out and shine, these things will happen. And it was really transformative for me that I could learn to trust even my own words, because I had, at that point, I was like, I have to work them.
That's huge. Oh my God, that's huge. Yeah. When we are consistent with our actions, like we say one thing and we do it, we literally do what we say, we're building trust in ourselves. So we can actually, then we're convincing ourselves you're capable of doing something even more.
Exactly.
That's big.
It is. And because so many of us, I think we question our ability. Like, we question, are we good enough? Should we be in the room?
Imposter syndrome, which is what you were experiencing in 2014.
Yes.
Like, y'all
like, these women are dope. Like, they invited me. Like, why am I here?
Meanwhile, everyone was like, oh my God, Africa Miranda's here. Like, this is going to be great. Yeah.
And that's, so many of us carry that. So if you are home and watching this, that's really what I hope you do take from us, is that there's, and even from, this book, when you get it and when you read it.
That's right.
Is that, the thing about shining is that it's a process. And so many people look at, everyone that's having these big moments, but you had to work steps. And you also need tools, because what I also realize when I talk to people and I speak is that nobody has the tools, and like you need a toolkit.
Got to.
Now, what are the pieces of your toolkit that you're like, okay, these are the things that I know to make it happen, or to like get myself going?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say there are three things. Number one, connection to the source. Okay. So for some people, they may recognize that as God.
Right.
You may call it something else, but recognize that there is something that's much larger than yourself. So number one, connect to your source. Figure out a routine that allows you to acknowledge your source on a regular basis, and then to give gratitude.
I love that.
Gratitude.
You have to be grateful.
Right? So gratitude to your source. Second thing I would say is your cabinet. I call it like my personal cabinet. You can call it your board, your village. Right. I think there are about 5 profiles of people that we should have in our cabinet, our village, that help us to keep going.
Okay.
A mentor, of course, right? Someone who encourages you, who knows your business, who will pick you up and help guide you, critical decisions. A sponsor, Right, so a sponsor is someone who
Everyone's like, oh.
yeah, this is key. Let me speak to y'all. A sponsor is someone who will provide you with the critical capital you need to move forward. So that capital could be financial, it could be access or opportunity, but you got to have your sponsors.
I love that, and because everybody always thinks sometimes that capital is money.
Yes, it's not.
It's not always that.
Always
yes,
money.
I love that. Okay.
Sometimes it's the recommendation, the testimonial that then positions
the
you
connection,
to be in front.
the like,
right.
hey, you need to know this
Exactly.
person.
And then that person gives you the next, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so the sponsor. Then it's a critical friend. Critical friend, right?
Okay.
So these critical friends are people who push you.
Okay.
They push you in love, though. The key piece that people forget is I said friend,
Yes,
right? So like
there's people that will criticize.
absolutely, and we don't. I mean, like that's fine,
Yeah.
but your energy doesn't need to go that
Right.
way. Your energy's got to go to the people who are going to ask you those tough questions. They'll be the devil's advocate that helps you to see what you can't.
Gotcha.
Right. So critical friend.
Okay.
Then it's a cheerleader.
Come on, somebody that's like, go Jovian.
Come on,
Go
you got-
Africa.
absolutely.
Go, yes.
Yeah, we gotta have our cheerleaders,
Yeah.
like who will, without a doubt, always be there to edify your spirit, pour into you.
Because you have to have that.
Man.
Because life is hard.
You already know.
Yes.
You already
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And-
Last thing I would say is an advocate, right? So similarly to a sponsor, advocates are people who, frankly, they know your brand in ways that you're like, oh, I have a PRT. Like they will
Gotcha.
speak about you when you're not in the room.
I love
make
it.
sure everyone else knows as if you were there.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's so
yeah.
important. I love that. I have a good, one of my line sisters is like that. I tell people, let her tell it. I'm hanging out with Oprah
Listen,
and Michelle Obama.
same.
And I'm like, I did? Like,
Exactly. Same. Like you need
Yes.
those people though.
You do.
You
Because
need
they
those
see,
people.
and they're the ones usually that believe in you before you have even bought into it yourself.
Absolutely.
Because they see it.
Absolutely.
They see it. So build your cabinet,
Absolutely.
your tribe. It's so important.
It's critical.
And now the third.
Okay. So the third thing I would say is you've got to remember to take care of your body so it can take care of you.
Yes.
Like, I mean, when I consider why I feel so confident in being able to communicate to
Right.
people like this whole on purpose message,
Yeah.
it frankly was because of my own experience of getting up on stage. I'm at the Clinton Foundation.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to speak. I'm 30 minutes in, getting ready to rap. And I honestly, Africa, did not know if I was going to finish.
Really?
My blood sugar had dropped. I was dizzy. I felt faint.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're on stage.
I'm on stage.
Okay.
And I remember saying, God, just get me off.
Right, let me just get to the
Just
end.
get me off. I mean, and typically I love Q&A from the audience, but I had to cut it. I mean, like I ran off to the bathroom, water on my face and calmed down. And it all was because of what I had been eating. I had not taken care of my body. I'm not even just going to say that week. But
Just-
like I wasn't in a space where I was treating my body as the temple and the vehicle it is
to be able to do this work.
to do this work. Yeah. So if I, if I want to be on purpose, truly, I've got to take care of the vessel that allows me to do so. I've got to honor it in the way that lets me to show up for my purpose every day.
Absolutely.
And so I would say for people, honor your body, the food, the activity you do, the visits to the doctors,
all of those
you
things.
know, or
I tell people,
holistic
like,
medicine,
yeah.
whatever you do, just don't treat your body as if it hasn't treated you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that is the perfect segue because this lady is also known. You're queen. Okay, hashtag queen. But let's talk about Sweat Check. So if you all
Yes.
follow me, like you'll notice that when I post as I'm on this fitness journey, that I usually
not playing.
tag. Come on, it's not a game. It's not a game. But I usually tag hashtag Sweat Check.
Yes.
And that is your like world tribe of like accountability partners. Like, how did this? Because I remember you getting ready for your wedding, but where did Sweat Check
gosh.
build and grow from?
Yeah. So a while ago, I was, of course, on my journey to get married, and I had always said, "Listen, the day of my wedding, I will be in the best shape of my life."
Hello.
Like, I mean, since I was young, I was like, "That's what it's gonna be," and so I began the journey at another clip.
Okay.
So, I told you about the Clinton Foundation
Right.
story. That honestly was like the kick
I've
for
gotta
me
do something.
at the point in my life. I've passed my 20s or whatever, and I was like, okay, I got to do better.
Yeah.
But when the wedding season came, I was like, yo, I'm going in. A lot of people were following me. I was hashtagging everything fit on purpose.
because it like started building.
It did. The Sweat Check actually came really when I came back from the wedding.
Okay.
And as I've told you, I didn't have that same vigor.
Of course.
I was like, okay, I know in order to treat my body well, I got to treat it well. Like,
Right.
I knew all of that, but I just couldn't seem to get myself like in the same kind of
that
space.
motivation is there because you had the wedding
Dude,
pushing you. So
listen,
yeah.
I was like, my back is going to be out. I'm about to be naked in Bali for this honeymoon. Like, I mean, I was ready.
Go back down her feet because y'all were giving all the things.
All of it. So when I came back in town, though, I was like, okay, Jovian, you can do this. Did you sweat today? Like, that was the question I would ask myself. If you sweat today, literally check the box.
Okay.
Like,
ooh, I'm sweating right now.
Right?
Oh.
Right? Like, if you sweat today, check that box.
Yes.
You accomplished something.
Okay.
Like, we all love to feel like we've accomplished something.
Yes.
And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the world. So when we've got the check, we're good.
Right. You're like, okay, I did it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, like, I would start going to the gym. I was like, oh, sweat check. Did it.
Yeah.
And then people were hitting me up like, because they'd already been following my fitness journey. They were like, what's this sweat check about? And I was like, well, have you sweat today?
Right. Did you do it?
Let me know if you sweat today. Tag me.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
hashtag sweat check. And people kept checking in, literally with me, like, hey, I did it. You know, people wanted to feel like they had an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
They wanted to feel the encouragement from somebody else who cared about them being their best.
Because sometimes you feel like you're just in the gym, like, is
by
anybody,
yourself.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter where you are in your journey with fitness, you always need encouragement.
I love it.
Whether you're the most fit person, you're out here training, and like you're in the Olympics, to whether you're just from the couch to a 5K, you need it. So sweat check has become something. Hashtag sweat check at Jovian Zayne.
Yes.
And you will join the tribe, and we will post, we'll encourage you, repost.
Great. People check in from all over the globe. Like,
Literally.
It's like they'll be like, I'm on vacation, but I'm getting it in, or I'm doing this.
It's crazy. So the other day, I saw somebody who was in Beijing. They were like, hashtag sweat check on the Great Wall of China, like running. And I was like, you're kidding me now.
I sweat checked when I was in Korea earlier this year. So it's just, and you know what it is? It does, when you break it down again into smaller bite-sized things, it's just a matter of, let me just do this.
Just do it.
Nobody's saying you got to like run a marathon today, but like you said, a very simple question of, did I sweat today?
Did I do it?
Did I sweat?
That's it.
I love it. We have sweat checked. We are walking in our purpose. We're being living intentional. But are we living on purpose?
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Now, this is, I'm not going to even claim that this is not, I can't tell you about your love life in here. I can tell you about your life. But one thing I appreciated you sharing was that how loving on purpose is also a part of living, that intentional existence.
Yeah. So every year, my organization started the first ever International Day of Purpose.
Yes.
And this year we hosted a summit, which was awesome. Personal and professional development. And there were 3 tracks. Fit on Purpose, which was like all mind, body, soul.
Love it.
Work on Purpose, which was all content related to your personal and professional growth. And then Love on Purpose, which is, we talk about it as relationship with self.
Because that's important.
Yep, relationship with others, like community, and relationship with a spirit.
Okay.
And the thing that I would always say with people when they're thinking about a romantic relationship specifically is, in the same way that you're intentional about your career, about your finances, about perhaps, hopefully, what you eat, all of that.
All of those things, yeah.
Do not sacrifice intention in this area.
Yes.
With this mantra in your mind of like, oh, it'll just happen.
Because I think we're conditioned to just believe like, oh, I'm gonna meet somebody. We'll find each other. I'm just like, well, find them where? Like,
so you may find them randomly. Like I certainly don't want to say like you can't just roll up on somebody at the grocery store and it be magic. Sure, it really can. But let's say this. Let's say you rolled up on somebody at the grocery store and they were amazing. What if you weren't prepared for it? Like, what if you hadn't gotten your mind? I'm saying, like, what if you hadn't gotten your mind and your body and your soul prepared to engage with
this person?
Exactly. So, like, when we talk about loving on purpose, it's about, have I done the work to prepare my spirit to engage with another person in the way that would set me up to be treated in the way that my soul really intends, like to be seen fully, to be supported in my dreams, to find someone else who literally, like Avatar, like sees me.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
like
they really see you. And I think, what I see now is there are a lot of people who just they sacrifice their real goal for the immediate pleasure
because it feels good right now.
Yeah, the immediate pleasure of having,
just someone.
But that someone isn't the one.
Exactly.
So I always say, don't step into a situationship that then leads you out of a relationship.
Okay, word. I wanted to bring these kinds of conversations to you because everyone, we watch these shows and every magazine, everything's talking about purpose.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they ever really tell you how to get there. And I want you to watch the Africa Miranda show. And if you have a why, I want to give you the how. And that's what I feel like we did today. And I thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you for being so kind to me, those years ago in setting me on this path and for what you're pouring into. So guys, follow Jovian. Get #OnPurpose. I will see you on Sweat Check. We will see you next week on the show. Remember, we are here every Tuesday. The book is out. So please get your copy of Step Up, Step Out, and Shine. Let me know in the Facebook group what you think about it. I want your feedback. And don't forget to subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on all the goodness that we're doing.
Right.
So let's get on purpose. Let's step up. Let's step out. Let's shine. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.